Happy 2025. I hope that each and every one of you has had a good new year so far. We're into the 6th day of the new year from the time I'm recording this. And a lot is going on. A lot is going on. A lot is going to take place this year that may change some things about people and the world we live in, especially how we live. So if you watched the last video, you know that man of faith, and just hoping. Oh, sorry, that's on the thoughts on the stream channel, which you can always click in the link below to find out what I talked about faith and all that. But I would just say that you definitely need more than that than ever. Anyway, despite all that, let me just say that 2025 is pretty much the beginning of an era that none of us thought we would enter into. It's always been in the dystopian shows and also movies that we see about a bleak, dark future that's happening in the 21st century. And you've probably seen it if you watched the movies from the 1970s. You kind of recall, it kind of just shows you that we, in our future, which is now, live in a bleak society in which there's no hope, there's no getting out, and the only way you can get out is just to escape or be killed. And that's the kind of movies that we saw in the 1970s, which now seem very prophetic. And this is 2025, and we already beginning to see many signs of that. And one of the signs is that we are in the era of artificial intelligence, deep fakes, you name it. I would not be surprised if someone took a video like this one, captured my face, made changes, and said or created some unsavory things from my voice, or according to my voice patterns, and decided to create that to where, it's not in my nature. I'm totally a different person. And that's what these deep fakes are. Part of the technology of artificial intelligence to create what we want to create, believe what we want to believe. And in fact, this year, you have to have a strong resolve if you want to keep believing what you've always believed in. If you don't want your mind changed, your heart changed, listening to individuals or people trying to convince you that whatever you have learned, whatever you have studied, whatever you believe in is all a lie or it's not true. In fact, you could say that is the term of alternate facts this year. Because individuals, especially on this medium, will try to convince you that everything you've ever believed is not true. They will forcefully say it in their words, in their messaging, and to convince you, the watcher or the user, that whatever you've learned from childhood on to now is a lie. In fact, when you learn to be a good citizen, look both ways before you cross the street, respect your elders, things like that, right? Well, anyone can tell you on a platform like this that you don't have to look both ways across the street. Cross the street when you feel like it, even though looking both ways is for your own safety, it's for your own good. But if you have a user saying, I cross the street and I don't look at both sides, I'm good, and yet you try to do the same thing, you're going to find yourself in the hospital, or even worse, in a cemetery. So I would suggest that voices like that would try to change your nature, that would attempt to change the way that you think, what you've always believed in, that's the sign that we are entering a time in which anything goes. And anything goes, especially if you don't look both ways when you're crossing the street, right? So that's the danger we live in. And alternate facts, and especially with artificial intelligence, the rise of that just shows that, yes, we are living in times when people and individuals who have a lot to gain from our misery, or basically are not our knowledge, or not really seeking knowledge of things that we believe to be true. That is what hinders us to believing, hey, what I always believe is true, what I always insist that is the right thing to do is always true, and I'm going to continue doing it. But the voices suggest otherwise. They suggest that no, you do not have to follow the rules. You do not have to follow decorum. You don't have to be the best person that you can be. You don't have to seek education. Why? Because educated is guided by that ideology or those individuals from that side. And it really just messes you up. With a platform like the internet, you can obtain and find knowledge anywhere you want, any day of the week. But the thing is that you have individuals and groups that will discourage you from even trying to be the best that you can be, because they discourage intellectualism. But again, that's a subject for another day. All I can just tell you is that as an individual and as someone who has all of these morals and lessons and advice from my elders ingrained in you, that you should just not really believe anyone, just anyone, unless you research the facts for yourself, unless you do your research for yourself and understand that what they're saying may or may not be true. On the other hand, if they are, they're probably using a fraction of the truth in order to convince you to listen to what they totally say, which again may not be true or not. I'm sorry, I'm all confused there. But I really would say that in this year of 2025, seek out the truth for yourself. Don't listen to just anybody. If you listen to something you feel there's a half truth there, that you have to look for it yourself. Look for that truth. Determine that it's not an alternate truth, it's not an alternate fact, that it's the true fact, and stick with it. You're an individual. You have one life. You have a certain amount of years to live on this earth. This might be your final year on earth. So you don't want to die thinking that you've lived a lie all these years. You want to pass on to the next life believing that what you believe is true. And if what you believe is not been the truth, and you discover the truth eventually, and you find that everything you've ever believed was a lie, then if it's not the real truth that you're seeking in whatever subject that you're looking at, then you want to make sure that it is the correct truth, verified by facts. No one can ever dispute that. No one can ever lie or distort that truth, that you can move forward and believe in what you feel is the right or proper thing to believe in. Again, I have to stress, there are many voices on this platform who are going to discourage you. That's their job, that's their mission, that's their method of discouraging you from learning the truth or distorting the truth in such a way that it's not really meant for you, and that you can't really learn from anything and grow as an individual or as a person. So you have to be very careful this year who you listen to, the messaging, even from platforms that you may have trusted in the past. They seem to be siding on the fact of ratings and subscriptions and clicks and links rather than actually reporting on the truth itself. And again, making your own determination about it. When they start to think for you, that's when the danger comes. You have to think for yourself. Each and every one of us has a brain, and we have to use that brain and also use our critical thinking skills to understand that maybe what that person said isn't what I believe in. Maybe what that person or individuals or groups said isn't what I've been taught to respect others, to have good morals, etc. So again, this is going to be a challenging year, not because of anyone that's going to be in office. I think we've passed that point where now it's us individuals, it's our nation, it's people, and how we interact with each other now. And even friends that we've had for a long time are beginning to think a different way, and they're going to think a different way this year because, again, this is the cloud that we are living under, and we're living under this cloud of anything goes. Again, you don't have to look both ways before you cross the street. You can just go ahead. No one's going to stop you. Live your life. And then you find that big semi truck is headed your way and you can't dodge, get out the way, and then smack, you're gone. You want to make sure that you can look both ways across the street with confidence. And guess what? No one can tell you anything otherwise, because you know the truth. And as I said in the good book, the truth shall set you free. So you want to be free this year. You definitely want to be free of all the deceptions, all of the smoke and mirrors, the alternate facts, the alternate truths, all that. You want to make sure that your life is not deep faked, that you are not living the Truman Show, that you're actually living your life. You as an individual watching this, you as an individual listening to me, that you are living your life, no matter what your color, creed, preferences are. You are individual, and you deserve the right to be an individual. No one can tell you otherwise or try to convince you into the camp unless you're willing to be part of that camp. So with that in mind, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your support over these years in my work. I really appreciate you with your positive vibes and your positive messaging, and even your advice. It really means a lot, and I continue to use this channel as a source of inspiration, and hopefully just to let you folks know about my future projects and things like that. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for your support. Once again, that's all I wanted to do. And with that in mind, don't forget to click the banner above to go to my website, check out what I'm doing for this year, including release of my new book, and also any of the other sites that you may want to check me out that I'm on. And also give me a shout out. Continue to support the work, continue to watch and see what happens next. But I want to wish all of you a happy 2025, and I do mean a happy 2025, away from the drama, away from the chicanery, all of that. So with that said, I also want to wish you a good day, a good evening, a good week, and always in closing, take care.